Let's start with kingdom plantae. Just think, how is plant cell different from animal cell? That means if I ask you that what's the difference between plant cell and animal cell, what you will answer? Yes, you got it correct. Plant cells have additional cell wall along with the cell membrane. That means we all know that plant cells and animal cells both are having cell membrane in them. But in plant cells along with cell membrane there is an outer covering known as cell wall. Okay, and this cell wall is absent in animal cells. Now, plants are what? They are non-motile. Non-motile means they are not changing their place. Okay, they are not changing place from one position to another position. They are not changing their place. That's why they are non-motile. Along with that, we can say plants are having photosynthetic pigment in them. What is that photosynthetic pigment? It is chlorophyll. Yeah, because of the presence of chlorophyll, photosynthetic pigment in them, they are showing which type of mode of nutrition? It is autotrophic mode of nutrition. What is autotrophic mode of nutrition? Yes, the plants having the capability to to synthesize their own food, and that's why they are having autotrophic mode of nutrition due to the presence of pigment, that is chlorophyll. Okay, now while classifying kingdom plantae, what points have to be considered? Means what is the basis of classification? Now, if we want to see on what basis plantae kingdom has been classified, so we will come to know that it is on the basis of presence or absence of particular organs, means particular organ whether it is present or absent. Secondly, the presence or absence of separate conducting tissue. What are conducting tissues? Already you have studied xylem and phloem. Whether xylem and phloem is present or not, on the basis of that also we are classifying plants. Thirdly, the presence or absence of seeds. Now, whether seeds are present or not. Okay, and if seeds are present, whether that seed is enclosed in a fruit. Whether it is enclosed in a fruit or it is not enclosed in a fruit, it is naked. Okay, on the basis of that we can classify them. Now, thirdly, we will see that if seeds are present, either it will be enclosed in a fruit or it will be naked, means without any enclosure, without any covering, and these seeds are either having single cotyledon or it is having double cotyledon, means number of cotyledons. On the basis of number of cotyledons also we can classify plants, we can classify kingdom plantae, right? Now, what we will see that if we want to classify plants on the basis of what? On the basis of, yes, these classification, on the basis of these classification, if we want to classify plants, what we will say? It is divided into two categories. Got it? Means taking all these points under consideration, we can classify kingdom plantae into two categories. What are they? It is cryptogam and phanerogam. Cryptogam means non-flowering plant. Okay, it is divided into two types. One is cryptogam and another is phanerogam. Now, what cryptogams are? Cryptogams are those classes of plants which do not have flowers, seeds and fruit. Means they do not bear any seeds, flowers and fruits in them. Okay, whereas what are phanerogams? Phanerogams have flowers, seeds and fruits. That's why cryptogams which is not bearing any flowers, seeds and fruits, they are also known as non-flowering plant. Whereas phanerogams which is having seed, which bears flowers, seeds and fruits, they are also known as seed bearing plants. Got it? Now, depending on the different characteristic they show, there again means cryptogams and phanerogams are again divided into various divisions. Okay, so on the basis of different characteristic, cryptogams are divided into three divisions, that is Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. What are these three divisions named? Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Got it? And phanerogams. Phanerogams which bears flowers, which bear seeds and fruits. Okay, they are again divided into two two division, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. Got it? We will take one by one. We will discuss each of these divisions in detail. Okay, don't worry. But let's take a review again. On the basis of classification, what points we have taken? What points we have taken under consideration? First is on the basis of, yes, on the basis of what? On the basis of presence or absence of conducting tissue, on the basis of presence or absence of organs, and on the basis of presence or absence of seeds. If seeds are present, whether it is enclosed in a fruit or it is naked, it is not enclosed in a fruit. Okay, and seeds are having how many cotyledons? The number of cotyledons. On the basis of these points, or on the basis of we can say by taking these points under consideration, we can classify kingdom Plantae. Okay, so on the basis of these points, how we have classified it? We have classified into two categories, that is cryptogam and phanerogam. Cryptogam are what? They are the class of plants which do not have flowers, seeds and fruit, whereas phanerogams have flowers, seeds and fruit. Okay, so now on the basis of different characteristics, cryptogams are again divided into three types: Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, and phanerogams which bears fruits, seeds and flowers. They are divided into two types, that is gymnosperms and angiosperms. Okay, now let's discuss each of them in detail. Let's start with cryptogams. Okay, just now in the previous slide we have seen that plant kingdom is divided into two types, cryptogams and phanerogams. So cryptogams, what we have studied, they do not bear flowers, seeds and fruits. Okay, along with that there are some characteristic features of cryptogam. Let's see one by one. These are considered to be as a lower plants. Now what do you mean by lower plants? These are the plants, these are the simplest plants where the body is undifferentiated, means their body is undifferentiated into stem, roots and leaves. Okay, one characteristic we have seen that they do not bear any flowers, seeds and fruits, means they don't have any flower, seeds and fruits. Secondly, what we are seeing, they are lower plants. Yes, they are lower plants. That means their body is undifferentiated. Undifferentiated into what? Undifferentiated into stem, roots and leaves. Now, if we see the type of reproduction they follow, we will come to know that they reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Okay, sexually they reproduce by means of fusion of male and female gametes, and asexually they reproduce by means of spore formation. So in that way we come to know there are three main characteristics of cryptogams. First is they do not bear any fruits, flowers and seeds. Secondly, they are the lower plants, that means simplest plants whose body is not differentiated into stems, roots and leaves. And thirdly, they have both type of reproduction. They can show both type of reproduction, sexually as well as asexually. Sexually by means of fusion of male and female gamete, and asexually by means of spore formation. Okay, now we have already studied that, but then also I am telling you that cryptogam, it is divided into three divisions. What are they? Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Okay, Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. So let's start with Thallophyta. Okay, now let's start with the first division under the cryptogams, that is Thallophyta. Now what is the meaning of Thallophyta? See, if you look at the term Thallophyta, we come to know that it contains two words. See, look at the term, it contains two words, thallo and phyta, where thallo means plant body. Thallo means plant body without root, stems and leaves. Just in the previous slide only I have explained you that cryptogams do not differentiate into stem, leaves and flower, stem, roots and leaves. So same characteristic must be going here, right? So what do you mean by thallo? Thallo means their body is not differentiated into roots, stems and leaves. And what does phyta means? Phyta means a plant. Okay, so if we see the term Thallophyta, we will come to know that it contains two words. Thallo means plant body without root, stems and leaves, and phyta means a plant. Now let's see their characteristic. They grow in water. Okay, for their growth they want water. correct? Now that water can be fresh water or saline water, means for the growth of Thaliophyta water is required, and water can be fresh water or it can be what? It can be saline water. Okay. Now this Thaliophyta is lack of vascular system. Lack of vascular system means they are not having any vascular system in them. What is vascular system? What is conducting tissue? Xylem and phloem, right? So in Thaliophyta, xylem and phloem is absent. Okay. Now if we continue with this, we will come to know that this Thaliophyta is divided into two subdivisions. Okay, this Thaliophyta is divided into two subdivisions, and what are they? These are algae and fungi. Okay, now again just take a quick review. What are the characteristics of Thaliophyta? Thaliophyta are the simplest plants, as we have studied in cryptogams. Secondly, their body is not differentiated into roots, stems and leaves, and that is what that thallo term explained us. Okay, they are aquatic plants. Aquatic plants means they require water for their growth. They can grow in fresh water as well as in marine water. Okay, they are not having vascular system in them. That means xylem and phloem is absent in them. Okay, and this Thaliophyta is divided into two subdivisions. Further, it is classified into two subdivisions, that is algae and fungi. Okay, now let's start with algae. What are algae? Do you know anything about algae? Have you seen it? Yes, you have seen it. Just look at these pictures. Just look at this picture. Have you seen somewhere these type of images, these type of organisms in water? Yes, you have seen. So these are what? Now whenever you will see this type of organism in water, just understand that these are all algae. Okay, let's have a look on algae. What are algae? They are autotrophs. Autotrophs means, yeah, they are having chlorophyll as a photosynthetic pigment, and because of this pigment they are having what capability? They are having the capability of synthesizing their own food. Okay, now these algae can be unicellular as well as multicellular. Okay, algae can be unicellular as well as multicellular. These algae are microscopic in nature. That means, what do you mean by microscopic in nature? Yeah, microscopic in nature means if we want to observe algae, we have to use microscope. That means algae are microscopic, means we can only observe algae under the microscope. But there are some algae which are macroscopic. Okay, there are some algae which are macroscopic. That means we can observe it with our naked eyes. Okay, now if we will see its structure, we will say that it is having a soft and fiber like body. Okay, so these are the main characteristic of algae. What are the first one? See, just now you have seen this structure. You are easily able to understand these are green in color, but not don't think that always these algae are green in color. No, there are various types of algae. Okay, this is not in your syllabus, but algae are of various types: brown algae, red algae, green algae, right? So there are various types of algae. So but mostly we are able to understand that okay, these are green in color. So if it is green in color, that means we know that it must have chlorophyll pigment in them, because of this chlorophyll pigment only they are green in color. Okay, so if they are having chlorophyll pigment in them, what they will do? They can have the capability of manufacturing their own food, and that's why they are known as autotrophic. So they are autotrophic in nature. Correct? Second, they are unicellular as well as multicellular. Okay, means they can have only single cell or yes, more than one cell. Got it? They can be microscopic as well as macroscopic. That means if it is microscopic, we have to use microscope to observe them, and if it is macroscopic, we can observe it with our naked eyes. And just looking at the algae or by touching it, we can feel that it is having soft and fiber like body. Okay, now there are various examples of algae like Spirogyra, Alva, Ulothrix. Just look at these figures. Alva, you must have heard about lettuce. Have you heard? Lettuce mostly we are taking as a salad. In salad also we are having it. lettuce, alva. It is a edible plant. Okay, it is edible. So alva, which is also known as what? Alva, which is also known as sea lettuce. Okay, it is also known as sea lettuce, which is edible in nature. Okay, now just look at the picture of Eulothrix. You must have seen in on various water bodies there is a upper layer of full green color layer is there. You know, if you will see, there will be a green color layer. Most of the water bodies it's happening. So it is what? Now if you will see, you just understand that it is Eulothrix, nothing else. Okay, even Spirogera, just look at the picture, which is also known as water silk, है ना? That also we are able to see very easily. So these are some examples of algae which we can observe in various water bodies, whether it is fresh water or marine water. We can be able to easily identify these type of algae. Right? Now let's have a look on fungi. What do you mean by fungi? They are heterotropic in nature. What do you mean by heterotropic? Yeah, correct. They lives on other organisms. They cannot manufacture their own food. Why they are not manufacturing their own food? What do you think? Yeah, they are not having chlorophyll in them. Correct. And because of the absence of chlorophyll in them, they are not having the capability of manufacturing their own food, and that's why they are showing heterotropic mode of nutrition. Okay, they are eukaryotic organism. Eukaryotic organism means what? I have explained. Yeah, eukaryotic organism means they are having membrane bound nucleus, and other membranes are also membrane bound. Okay, so they are eukaryotic, they are heterotropic and multicellular as well as unicellular. Means mostly we are getting fungi in the form of multicellular organism, but there are some fungi which is unicellular. For example, yeast. You must have heard about yeast, right? So yeast are unicellular. So what we come to know about fungi? First, they are having heterotropic mode of nutrition. Just whenever we are talking about heterotropic mode of nutrition, we come to know that okay, it is not having that pigment which is required for manufacturing their food. And what is that pigment? It is chlorophyll. That means fungi is not having chlorophyll in them. Fungi do not have chlorophyll pigment in them, and that's why they are heterotropic in nature. You know what are heterotropic, right? They live on other organisms and get their nutrition from them. They are eukaryotic organism. Eukaryotic organism means, yeah, they are having membrane bound nucleus, and other membranes are also membrane bound. Other organisms are also membrane bound, right? Correct. Okay. Now one thing you should know, that is this the basic character and most important characteristic of fungi. It's like the cell wall of fungi. We all know we are studying plant, right? And what's the difference between plant and animals? Yeah, in plants cell wall is present. In both plants and animals cell membrane is present, but in plant the cell membrane is protected by or covered by cell wall. In most of the plants, in all plants, the cell wall is made up of cellulose. But it is the exceptional case in fungi that in fungi cell wall is made up of chitin. Okay, and that is the major property, major characteristic of fungi. Okay, now if we want to see its example, we will come to know that, for example, yeast, mushroom, right, mold, these are all the examples of fungi. And a mushroom you must have seen, yeast also you know. Now look at this slide. This is the slide of fungi which explains, which clears you the structure of fungi, yeast and mold. Now look at the first. Now look at this slide. By this slide you will be able to understand how mold and yeast looks like. Mostly in the first figure you see there is a black growth in a petri plate, and in another one there is a white growth. The black growth which you are seeing, that is the growth of mold. Okay, and the white growth which you are seeing on the petri plate, it is of yeast. Okay, now you if you just recollect yourself where you have seen this mold, have you seen somewhere? Yeah, in breads. If you keep breads for many days, for longer period of time, you will see there is a growth, black color growth in them. Okay, that is nothing else, that is only the growth of mold, that is fungi, which grows on the bread. Okay, because they see fungi are what? They are heterotrophic. Okay, they are having heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So what they want, that fungi wants moist places as well as they want nutrition. So for nutrition, what they are doing, they are just growing on the bread, and they are, yeah, taking nutrition from that bread, and in that way there is a growth of mold in them. Okay, similarly you must have seen in oranges. In oranges also, if it is kept for very longer period of time, you will see that there is a blackish white growth on this orange. That is nothing, that is only mold that develops on that orange. Okay, sometimes you must have seen that in some fruits or in dry fruits also, there is a white growth, droplet like white growth develops. What is that? That is yeast. Okay, that is also develops, and that yeast growth contaminates the food. Okay, that yeast growth contaminates the food. Now we can be able to understand that because why they are growing on foods, because, yeah, we are saying na fungi, there is a growth of fungi on food. Why they are growing on foods? Because they want nutrition, and from where they are getting nutrition? From the food material. Okay, so let's just revise it once again. What are this Thallophyta? First of all, cryptogams. What are the basic characteristic of cryptogams? They are the lower plants that is not differentiated into stem, leaves and fruits, right? They are stem, leaves and roots, है ना? And second, they are not having flowers, seeds and fruits. They can reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Got it? Now if we want to divide it, it is divided into three divisions: Thallophyta, Bryophyta and Pteridophyta. Now in Thallophyta, what we have seen, their body is not differentiated into root, leaves and stem, correct? And they are the aquatic animal. Aquatic animal means they lives in water, whether it is fresh water or marine water. They want water for their life. Okay, they do not have any vascular system, that means xylem phloem is absent. Okay, and this Thallophyta is again divided into two subdivisions, that is algae and fungi. Now if we will see, algae is autotrophic, fungi is heterotrophic. Autotrophic means they are having chlorophyll pigment, fungi are not having any chlorophyll pigment, right? Okay, now both are microscopic as well as macroscopic, but in algae the cell wall is made up of cellulose, right? But in fungi we will see that cell wall is made up of chitin. Got it? Various examples we have seen, like algae, Alva, Ulothrix, Spirogyra. These are the examples of algae. Fungi, you can say mushrooms, yeast, molds. These are all are the examples of fungi. Got it?